नानावादी नगेन्द्र संघपवये योगीन्द्र वन्द्याय च मोहध्वान्त दिवाकराय भगवत्पादाभिधां बिभ्रते तस्मै भाष्यकृते नमोऽस्तु सततम् पूर्णाय बोधात्मने। ब्रह्माहं यत् प्रसादेन मयि विश्वं प्रकल्पितम् श्रीमत्स्वयं प्रकाशाख्यं प्रणौमि जगतां गुरुम्। यः परमात्मा जगत्सृष्ट्वा प्रविवेश पुनः स्वयं तं कृष्णं प्रत्यगात्मानं वन्दे भूमि मनोहरम्। यस्य प्रसादादहमद्वयात्मा विश्वं समस्तं मयि कल्पितं च तं सर्वलोकैकगुरुं सदाश्री स्वयं प्रकाशं गुरुमानतोऽस्मि। गुरूणां चरणां भोजं प्रणिपत्य निरन्तरम् तत्कृपालेशतो द्वैत चिन्ताकौस्तुभमारभे। Discussing about the 5 different states of experience of the Jiva. We are discussing the state of unconsciousness, Murchavastha, Mugdhavastha. Now there is a doubt. And the doubt is that, sir, can we not keep this Murchavastha, the state of unconsciousness, and or categorize it under one form of Jagrata Avastha of the waking experience? Or maybe can we not put it under the umbrella of yet another form of deep sleep? With this doubt, we have approached the Brahma Sutra, where the Sutrakar Bhagavan Badarayana, Bhagavan Vyasa, gives his judgment. And he says, Mukdherartha sampatti padishesha. Mukdhe, of this Mugdhavastha, of this Murchavastha, Artha sampatti. It is partial sleep, therefore not sleep. And hence, parishesha, therefore, now we are left with the idea that it should be categorized as a separate state. Okay. Look at the Moola Grantha, the original text. It says, Mudgara Praharadi Janita Vishadena. Mudgara Praharadi Janita Vishadena. Adi Hari. Mudgara means the club, a wooden club, or somebody hits a person from front, from back, from side, in the head. So there is a head injury. And with that head injury, or things like the head injury. Now, what could be like the head injury? Maybe some accident, maybe a blow, maybe some form of, a disease or something that makes a person become unconscious. Not, and as I told you from my own experience, it is not necessary that one has to be hurt in the marmasthanas like the head or heart, etc. It could be anything like a small puncture in the body. Some nerve is then punctured. Even that also can cause unconsciousness, murchavastha. So we can include all these causes into it. Okay. So unconsciousness induced or sleep-like state induced. It is not sleep. It has distinction from sleep. Sleep-like state induced due to various reasons, then it's called as murchavastha. Okay, so taduktam. And so we are going to look at the definition of murchavastha. Okay. Murchavastham lakshati. Now, what is being distinguished is the murchavastha. Vishesha in the commentary section also. Vishesha Vijnano Paramavastha Murcha iti ukte sushuptau ativyaptihi ataha uktam mudgareti. Now, in the state of unconsciousness, the person does not know his wife, children, or who are surrounding him, whether he is at home, on the road, or in the hospital, or no, nothing he knows. And therefore, Vishesha Vijnanam is not there. Vishesha Vijnanam means specific knowledge. Okay, specific knowledge is not there. Now I am being carried on the stretcher. Now I am being led in the bed. Now the doctor is trying to see the heartbeat and count the pulse, etc. The blood pressure is getting monitored. No, nothing. There is no specific knowledge. So, Vishesha Vijnano Param Avastha. How is the avastha? Where the specific awareness, the specific knowledge is withdrawn, is not there. Ityukte, if we were just to say this much, that consciousness is a state where there is no specific knowledge. And if we were to just frame this as the definition of mukhtavastha or muchavastha, then what would happen? Sushuptau ativyaptihi. In that case, the definition would spill into the definition of sushupti, of the deep sleep. In the deep sleep too, there is no awareness, no specific knowledge, no awareness of specific objects, no nothing. How, people may be just as in deep sleep, somebody, what the person is sleeping, and of course, in deep sleep, there may be people sitting next to him and talking ill about him, yet it does not affect this person. Why? No specific knowledge. over there. So therefore, just as this person in a state of unconsciousness also does not have specific knowledge, then let us call this state as just a state where there is no specific knowledge. Now, if this was to be the only definition of murchavastha, of the state of unconsciousness, then the definition will overlap with sushupti. As a result, what would happen? You are going to conclude that even unconsciousness is also sushupti, is also deep sleep. And therefore, in order to avoid this misunderstanding, we have to include something more which allows us to understand the distinction between the deep sleep and the state of unconsciousness. Therefore, the teacher here says, Mudgara Prahara Janita Vishada Avastha iti ukte. So we have not the teacher, the Purva Paksha says, then just say, why? Let us not even include that Vishesha Vijnana Paramatmika. Let us not put that talam, that part, into the definition. And let us say a state which is induced by a heavy blow of a wooden club or some disease or some, just an injury. It is a state that is induced by an accident or an injury or disease, etc. If we were to just say this much, then it would mean it is still the state of Jagrada Avastha, the waking state where there is now more pain, intense pain. Okay, so Vishada Avastha, Murchasthaya Ativyakti, then it would overspill into the definition of Jagrada Avastha, of the waking state. Because we have not mentioned in this part of the definition that there is no specific knowledge. All that we are saying is a state induced by an accident or a blow or a disease, etc. Or a shock, a psychological shock, of course, an even electric shock also, but that you can bring it under accident. You can enumerate reasons, but we have not said that there is no specific knowledge, absence of specific knowledge. We have not said over here. All that we have said, the cause which has induced a state. Now, if this was to be this thing just to be said, then it would overspill into the definition of waking state. Ataha uttam, and therefore what is said is mudgara praharadi chanita vishadena, a state induced due to accident or a blow or intense pain or a disease. Okay, and then this is induced by that, a state which is induced by that, wherein there is absence of specific knowledge. Now, this definition with both the parts of the definition together, murcha. Murchayaha avasthantaratve vyasa sutram samvadayati. So now, though you have said this, that how it cannot be brought under Jagrata Avastha or under the Sushupti, but do we have any pramanam to call it different than the first three? How we say? Yes, we have. What is that? There is a sutra from the body of Brahma Sutra. Badarayana Bhagavan says, Muktehe Artha Sampatti Parisheshad iti. Commentary part. Tritiye sthitam Mudgaradi Praharadi Nimitte Sati Pumsam Yam Murcham Achakshate Lokaha Sa Murcha Jagranantarbhuta Ahosvit, our third chapter. We observe a state which is induced due to accident, injury, etc., which the people call as the state of unconsciousness. Let the general people call it. But should we bring it under Jagrat or should we bring it under the umbrella of Sushupti, deep sleep? This is the question over there. To which the Sutrakara replies, the Sutrakara means Vyasa Badarayana. Over there, he says, Tatra Shuddhyadishu avasthantarattvena aprasiddhatvat Jagradadishu antarbhuta. Even before Badarayana gives his reply, the Purva Paksha is giving his full argument. He says, no, we do not come across the Shruti mentioning Murcha Avastha as a different state, the state of unconsciousness as any different state. Okay. Shrutyadishu avasthantarattvena aprasiddhatvat. Because it does not mention it as anything separate directly in the Veda, in the Shruti, in the Upanishad. Therefore, Jagradadishu antarbhuta. Therefore, let us keep it under Jagrad, the waking state, or maybe Sushupti. Tatrapi, over there, Vishesha Vishyano Paramasamyat, because we have found a similarity between the Jagrad and Sushupti. We have found a similarity between the Sushupti and Murchavastha. What is the similarity? Absence of specific knowledge. You ask a person who has just woken up from deep sleep. Or why ask a person? Ask yourself, because you go to deep sleep every night. What was there? He is going to say absence of specific knowledge. So also, now you can ask, if one has not fallen unconscious any time, let that fellow ask another who has gone into unconscious state. Well, then that person is going to report, and he is also going to say absence of specific knowledge. So there is a similarity between the Sushupti, between the deep sleep and the unconscious state. What is the similarity? Absence of specific knowledge. Tatrapi Vishesha Vijnano Paramasamyat Murcha Sushuptav eva antarbhuta. Therefore, let us keep it as Sushupti. Let us put unconsciousness as Sushupti. Navasthantaram. Let us not categorize and make one more state, which we do not find Shruti. Not something that is not shown to us by the Shruti. Navasthantaram iti prapte. abhidhiyate. Now that is being said. Murcha jagradadibhyo avasthantaram parishesha. Okay, this murcha, the state of unconsciousness, is avasthantaram, is a different state than the jagrat, than the waking, or even the state of deep sleep. Then what is it? Why do you say parishesha? Because we have not left with any choice but to conclude it as avasthantaram. Look at that. How do we have no choice but to conclude it as avasthantaram? Sa tavanna jagrat swapnayoho antarbhavati vijnana bhavat. It cannot be brought under the heading of jagrat or even swapna, the waking or the dream. Why? Because in the dream or in the waking state, the specific knowledge, specific awareness, this is an elephant, this is a rabbit, this is a butterfly, this is a flower, so on, and are there, which is not here. So Jagrat and Swapna is out of question. We cannot say that it is Jagrat Avastha. Na ha Vijnana Bhava Napi Marane. It is not even the state of death. Why, sir? Because one enters the state of death, Punarutthana is not there. The person doesn't come back, doesn't come back, gone. Avasthan. But in the state of unconsciousness, the person will come back with appropriate treatment or naturally, when the body recovers, he comes back into the Jagrada Avastha. So there is Utthana. He can come back. He wakes up. He not resurrects. He comes. Okay. So over there, Punarutthana Darshana. Napi Sushuptau. All right, but that is fine. So we have eliminated the possibility of it being called as Jagrat Swapna or even the state of death. Then what is it? Let us say Sushupti. He says no. Lakshana Vailakshanya. Because the very character of both are different. The characters of Sushupti, of the deep sleep, and of the Murcha Avastha are different. Vailakshanya. Tathahi. So how do we see? Sushuptasya prasanna varanatva nishkampatvadikam lakshanam. A person in the state of deep sleep, there is immense peace on his face. Prasanna varanatva. So the person is prasanna. There is. That's why even the devil in deep sleep will look peaceful and beautiful. Okay, prasanna vadanatva, nishkampatvadi. The body is not in what do they call kampa. Tremor. Nishkampatvadikam lakshanam. Mugdhasya tu, in case of a person who is in Murchavastha, what happens? Vikaralavanatva sakampatvadikam. Now, the face is or the body is what do they call? There are visible signs of of torture in the body. Okay. some sort of distortion. Some sort of distortion is there in the face or in body, things like that, which is not there in the case of person in deep sleep. And therefore, muktasya tu vikaralavarana sakampatvadikam ato lakshana vailakshanya. Therefore, naturally, we find that these are two different, and hence sushupto murcha. Therefore, this murcha, the state of unconsciousness, cannot be accommodated in the state of deep sleep. Murcha. Okay. Kintu, and therefore, now what choice do you have? It cannot be brought under the category of Jagrata or Swapna or Mrityu, the death, or even the Sushupti. Now what? None of these four states can accommodate the state of unconsciousness. Therefore, Parishesha, therefore, without a choice, we don't have a choice but to accept it as a separate state. And therefore, Hindu Parisheshad Avasthantaram Evaiti. Therefore, though it is not mentioned in the Shruti directly, yet Badarayana Rishi Badarayana Bhagwan Vyasa, he says Mukterartha Sampatti Parishesha. Parishesha, it is a different state. Okay. Sakampatvadinam Sushupti Vailakshanyeti. Now, the distortion in the body, etc., which are some visible signs, or even people can notice that on some, some internal organs bleeding or whatever, on the medical equipment, visible in some form or the other. So, Sakampatvadinam Sushupti Vailakshanyeti. Though it is different from Sushupti in this way, and remember, deep sleep is indeed a great state of experience. I'm not just saying this great because, your body is rested. Every cell of the body is regenerated. And therefore, a person who comes out of deep sleep now feels like a new, fresh flower, like a baby. Okay? And therefore, the person is at peace. So, I'm not saying only because of these reasons. I'm saying that it is a great state even to contemplate upon, because the contemplation, analysis of the state of deep sleep will pave your path to the state of samadhi. Sushupti, the state of deep sleep, is a state where you are one with God. The only thing is that ignorance is there and therefore you don't know. You are already one with God. ईश्वर के साथ एक रूप हो वहां. So Swamiji, this must be good, right? That's why people, those who sleep more are more spiritual. It's not spiritual. There is ignorance, don't forget that. And spirituality though means oneness with God, but ignorance is not there. Sakampatvadinam sushupti vailakshanye Vishesha Vishyanuparamena Sushupti Samyad. Now, the similarity between the Sushupti and the state of unconsciousness, which is absence of specific knowledge, is there. Sushupti Samyad, there is some, therefore, what does he call? Ardha Sampatti Murcha iti Nirnayaha. Therefore, it is a state of semi-sleep. It is a state of semi-sleep. So, Sushupti Samyat Ardha Sampatti, semi-sleep. Sampatti means deep sleep. Murcha iti nirnaya. Therefore, that is the judgment, or that is the nirnaya, the conclusion given to us by Badarayana, Bhagwan Badarayana. How has he said that? Mukterartha sampatti parisheshan. So now the author has used this time, the space, to justify the or to explain, the sutra. Murdhe, not murdhe. Murdha is this. Mukdherartha sampatti parisheshariti. Okay, iti nirnaya. Now we have covered 4 states: Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, Murcha. Now the 5th state mentioned is the state of death, Maranavastha, which he rolls up only in one sentence over here. He says, who he, teacher, our author of this text, Etat Sharira Bhoga Prapaka Karma Paramena Dvividha Deha Vivana Nivritya Sapindita Karanagrama Avastha Bhavi Sharira Prapti Paryantam Maranavastha. Now, you know, every word, that's why I had, in the beginning or sometimes in between, I always remind you, put your finger under the line, onto the words. Etat Sharira Bhoga Prapaka Karma Paramena. Now, whatever experiences that we are having of the Jagrat or Swapna is basically this physical body is made as a point from where these experiences are now collected. So the karmas which were waiting to give you their results in form of joys and sorrows, etc., are there, and that's why this body is still this physical body, this particular frame in which you are, or each one of us is. Etat Sharira Bhoga Prapaka Karma. So there is some karma which is responsible to deliver certain experiences or various experiences, making this body as a point to deliver them. This body means this Sthula Deha. So, Etat Sharira Bhoga Prapaka Karmo Paramena. When those karmas have finished, exhausted, as much experiences had to be delivered through this body, the quota is finished. And therefore, what is the point of this body now? The body was made as a point from where the experiences could be delivered. Now delivered by the karma. Now the karma which were meant to give those experiences have already finished. Now, what is the point of this body? And therefore, prapaka etat sharira bhoga prapaka karmo paramena. What happens with that? Dvividha dehavimana nivritya. Now, the identification with the body is at two levels. The identification with the body, not two levels. The identification is of two types. That is better. Not two levels, but it is of two types. What is that? We will see. There are two. Both the types of identifications, therefore, are finished. Why have those identifications finished? Because bhoga prada karmas have finished. Okay, and therefore both the identifications are now no longer there. Therefore, what happens, sir, now? Sapindita karana gramavastha. Then all the karanas, the jnanendriyas, the what they call it, karmendriyas, the antakarana, all these things are rolled together like a ball. Sapindita, it is a pinda. It has been rolled into a ball. Sapindita karana gramavastha bhavi sharira prapti paryantam, till the new body is acquired. Bhavi sharira prapti paryantam maranavastha. Then to this point, till the future body is attained, acquired, this state is called as the state of death. This is the state of death. Look at the commentary. Marana avastham lakshayati etaditi. So now, in order to mark that the teacher is explaining to you what is Marana avastha, he begins with etaditi. Dehabhimano dvivitha. Now we have understood that because those karmas which were supposed to deliver their results of joys and sorrows, making this body as the point from where it can be all delivered. Okay. Those karmas have finished, exhausted, and therefore both the types of identifications are given up, relinquished. Dvividha dehabhimana nivritya. There are both the types of identifications. The ego at both two levels is not there. Okay. What is that? Dehabhimano dvividha. The identification with this body, with the physical body, is of two types. Samanya abhimano, vishesha abhimanas, abhimanascha iti. It is samanya, common, a general, that is better, not common. Samanya over here means general. There is a general identification with the physical body, and there is specific identification with the physical body. Samanya vishesha abhimanascha. Sushuptau samanya abhimanaha punaruthana darshanat. In the state of deep sleep, when we say the identification with the physical body is given up, it means that only the specific identification, I am a man, I am a woman, this is my age, this is I look, this is, I am tall, stout, short, big, small, all these things. This physical identification, specific physical identification is not there. Then what is there? General is there. And therefore, because the general specific, the general identification is there, the person comes back again and is available as a functional entity with the specific identification. Why? Because in Sushupti, though the specific identification was given up, the specific ego is given up, yet the general ego, the general identification with the physical body remains. Jivasya nirabhimana avasthothana yoga. Because if the identification is not there with the physical body, then you will not come back to assume the specific one. But from Sushupti, in Jagrata Avastha, if you call a person, hey, Mr. You with the red hat, now that person knows who is being called. Mr. Red Hat, excuse me, sir, red hat. Now this red hat fellow he knows I am being called. Sir, you with, sir, you with the blue eyes. Now this person knows that I am being called. In Sushupti, somebody is in deep sleep. You call him, Mr. You with a red shirt. Well, red shirt, blue shirt, good shirt, bad shirt. No, he's not going to wake up. He's not going to respond. So definitely the specific identification is not there. But he wakes up. And the very fact that he wakes up to assume the specific one is only because the general identification, the samanya dehabhimana was there. Okay? Sushupto jivasya dehe samanya abhimanaha tishthatyeva jagrat swapnayoho visheshabhimanaha. But under the waking state and in the deep dream state, visheshabhimana is there. The specific identity is there. What is that? Manushyoham brahmanoham iti. I am a human being. I am a Brahmin. This is my, what do they call it? Caste, creed, so on and so forth. Nationality. All these things. Specific. Manushyoham brahmanoham iti. Marane bhogena prarabdhakshaye. In the state of death, the prarabdha kshaya, exhaustion of those karmas has taken place. How has the prarabdha exhausted? Because the prarabdha had arrived to give you those experiences, and when those experiences are delivered to us, the prarabdha is finished. Whether the experiences are of joy or sorrow, irrelevant. Whatever experiences, the prarabdha already is sitting over there to give it. Marane bhogena prarabdha kshaye dvividhasya samanya vishesha rupasya abhimanasya nivritya. Over there, what happens? Both the types of identification with the body, general or specific, both these identifications now are finished. Nivritya. Bhavi devadi sharira prapti paryantam. Till the next body of a celestial being or whatever, if the person is punyavan, If the person has done good, proper karma, dharma he has lived, he obviously will attain the celestial body, to be the celestial world. So, bhavi devadi sharira prapti paryantam. But till that body is acquired, what happens to him? That all his karanas, all the instruments, okay, what are his instruments? The instruments of knowledge, the instruments of action, and the inner instrument called as the antakaranam. Mind and intelligence and all these things, all these instruments are sapinditam. What has happened? Both of all these things are rolled together. Sapindita karanagramavastha ekikrita chaturdasha karanagramavastha. It means ekikritam. Like, like how the dough is, you can make a ball of the dough. It means rolling it together. Okay, ekikrita chaturdasha karanagramavastha. 14 instruments are rolled together. This is then called as Maranavastha. This is the state of death. When does death, when will the death happen? When the person's prarabdha kshaya takes place. The death will not happen before that. And when the prarabdha kshaya has taken place, no matter, even if you may try your level best to keep the person there, now the prarabdha is not there. So therefore, as long as the prarabdha is there, till then the person will be there. After that, both samanya and vishesha abhimana are given up. Then the karanas are rolled together. All the instruments are rolled together. Therefore, now over here, these are through the eyes or through the chakshurindriya, nothing. It is all there, but in packed up, rolled together. Sapindita karana grama avastha means ekikrita chaturdasha karana grama avastha. And till when will this ball, it will remain packed like this? Till the bhavi sharira, till the next body is acquired. Which is the next body? Whatever is the next body of that particular person, devadi sharira. Deva, Gandharva, Yakshadi, and those celestial bodies. Or if not those, if the person is papi, then some narakiya yoni it will be there. So over there, maranavastha iti. Okay, now so we have so far understood Jiva is one through all these various states. What are various states? What are the various states? 5. Which are the 5? Jagrat, Swapna, Sushupti, Murcha, Marana. These are the 5 states. But sir, Murcha, that's it. Murcha is not that known in the Upanishad as categorized as another state. Sir, it is. Badarayana, not over there, but Badarayana Puran shows it over there. Okay. Now, when we have understood this, we are able to understand that this Jiva in the state of Jagrata Avastha is Vishwa. In the state of Swapna Avastha is called as Taijasa. In the state of, what do they call? Sushupti is Prajna. For us, this much is enough. Why is it told Chaturdasha Karana? Why Chatur? What is wrong? Chaturdasha means 14. 5 Jnanendriyas, 5 Karmendriyas, 10, and then Antakarana is 4. That's why it makes it
What about
Swamiji, Pancha Prana
14.
is not included.
Why should it? The
Swamiji,
pranas are riding. The prana is the vehicle.
vehicle?
Okay.
Vehicle.
The prana is one which is a vehicle. Riding on that prana only will he go.
Yes, Swamiji.
So the prana has a function to do that, to deliver him to the next destination. Prana is still doing a function, right?
Yes, Swamiji. Okay.
Therefore, but are these Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, or Antakarana doing any function over there? No.
Swamiji.
So they are, though they are there, but they are not functioning because they are subendika. Prana is doing the function. And therefore, can
Yes,
we say
Swamiji.
the prana is subendika?
No.
Okay. Chalo. Now, Tasyeva. So who is Prajna? The Praha. Who is Prajna? You have seen this all. Prajna, Taijasa, and Vishwa. Now we have to see the identity between Vishwa and Vaishwanara, Taijasa and Hiranyagarbha, and Prajna and Ishvara. Then, just as the Vishwa is dissolved in Vaishwanara, Vaishwanara dissolves into the Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha dissolves into Ishvara, and this Ishvara is Brahma Chaitanyam with Maya as the conditioning. Okay? All right. So this Atma is one, but with different conditionings. It's called as with different names. So now we are going to take it further to understand more. Oh, this part. The next part is even really very exhaustive. And if you people have tenacity, more capacity, then to go through it with all the details, even in the commentary part, will become a very interesting but an intense journey. So it will be interesting only if we have the tenacity to sustain ourselves to take through that rigmarole. But it is good. I will try, and if I find that people are getting tired, then I will just rapidly cover it up. Well, now enough for now. Brahmaham yat prasadena mayi vishwam prakalpitam Shrimad Swayam Prakashakhyam Pranavami Jagatangurum Yah Paramatma Jagat Srishtva Pravivesha Punaswayam Tam Krishnam Pratyagatmanam Vande Gopi Manoharam Yasya Prasadad Hamadvayatma Vishwam Samastam Mayi Kalpitancha Tam Sarvalokaiikagurum Sada Shri Swayam Prakasham Gurumanatosmi Gurunam Charanam Mojam Pranipatya Nirantaram Tatripalye Shadodvaita चिंता कौस्तुमारभे ओम पूर्णमतः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। शंकरं शंकराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। Thank you all. Thank you very much.